Hey guys, welcome back to the Red Briefing. Man, things have changed big time. The days when the left could just dictate what we're allowed to talk about, which opinions get the green light, and which ones get canceled, those days are over. We're in a whole new era now. Honestly, this feels like the closest we've come to actual free speech since probably the 90s. The Overton window has shifted hard, and you can feel it in the air. All the stuff the mainstream media, the activist crowd, and the professional outrage mobs spent years trying to silence, people are just saying it out loud now. No apologies, no hesitation. That censorious grip is finally loosening up. For the longest time, the playbook was super straightforward. If you criticized anything tied to Islam, boom, you're committing a hate crime against every peaceful Muslim out there. Sure, there are hundreds of millions following a worldview that's genuinely destructive and dangerous in a theocratic sense. But nah, we couldn't have that conversation because it might upset someone's Muslim friend. Well, guess what the vibe is now? Too bad. It's not about sparing feelings or tiptoeing around sensibilities anymore. It's about straight up telling the truth, especially when it's tied to serious national security threats. People are finally dropping the apologies and just saying it. Like I mentioned, the Overton window is moving fast. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Newsmax is going full throttle on this.
Just like in the days after 9/11, we are back to Muslims across the country crying about Islamophobia. It's everywhere. How dare we be afraid of radical Islam? Why in the world would anyone be Islamophobic? Where is that? No, that's not Iraq. It's not Afghanistan. That's Times Square a few days ago, the crossroads of the world, the place where the ball drops New Year's Eve, which, by the way, would be a violation of Sharia law, playing music and celebrating, if it were anywhere in the Muslim world. Never before have we witnessed a scene like that in the middle of America's largest city. So why would that make some non-Muslims uncomfortable? Why would normal, everyday Americans who just want to go to work and then go home to their families think a scene like that is somewhat threatening? Because no other religion puts the world under constant threat of death and destruction like Islam. Quotes from the Quran repeatedly call for bloodshed. Kill the idolaters wherever you find them. Kill the Jews. Kill the infidels. Right now, we're seeing the results of this once again in cities and small towns across the United States. And of course, as always, the inspiration is the perception of the Western world attacking Islam.
She didn't even hesitate. Straight to the point, on air. For years, you couldn't say anything close to that without getting slapped with the Islamophobia label, and the whole conversation would get shut down. But that word, it's losing its power. Islamophobia implies some irrational fear, right? But more and more people are realizing it's not irrational at all. It's rational. It's justified based on what we've seen. And now it's being said openly on national TV. Think about it. If a mainstream host dropped a line like that even 5 or 10 years ago, they'd be gone in hours. The Twitter mob, or X mob, whatever, would have swarmed, advertisers pulled, demands for firings everywhere. Those folks always acted like they were the most virtuous. The debate was settled, game over. But it was never about honest debate. It was about intimidation, making people too scared to speak up. Reality has a way of breaking through censorship eventually. Enough is enough. No one should get punished just for sharing their honest take, especially when it's the plain truth. We've gotten way too complacent, turning a blind eye to a real threat that's been let in the door, an ideology that straight up wants to dismantle Western civilization. Yeah, that's a heavy claim. But is it really that controversial anymore? Maybe it still triggers outrage in some circles, but it's not hidden or fringe. These folks aren't even pretending otherwise. You don't have to dig up some rare outlier case. Just look at that rally in Times Square literally a couple days ago. People openly waving Hezbollah flags, holding up portraits of the Ayatollah like he's a hero, chanting anti-American stuff right in the heart of New York City. Not Tehran, New York.
We proclaim our support for the Islamic Republic. Shame, shame, USA!
Our numbers will never be defeated.
And the targeting of the leader only strengthens the resolve of the people.
We're supposed to act like that's just normal free speech or something? Give me a break. That's the wild naivete of a lot of modern left-wing politics. They're importing ideologies that flat out reject liberal democracy. The same crowd that screams about Christo-fascism and theocratic threats from the right is the one flinging the doors open to the Ayatollah and caliphate dreams. It's nuts. They're siding with regimes that lock up women, slaughter dissenters by the thousands, and don't lose sleep over it. Point out the hypocrisy or the actual threat, and suddenly you're the bad guy, the racist, the bigot. It's like chickens volunteering for KFC, as I've said before. You see it crystal clear in the whole free Palestine, free Gaza scene. You've got these secular, alternative lifestyle folks who wouldn't last a day under strict Islamic rule, yet they're out there in keffiyehs chanting away. Do you even get what you're supporting? Look, I've criticized the Israeli government plenty. Governments deserve scrutiny, and yeah, the IDF's approach in Gaza has been heavy-handed at times. I get the arguments. But jumping from policy critique straight to cheering on Hamas? Come on. Hamas aren't freedom fighters or misunderstood rebels. They're explicit Islamic extremists telling you exactly what they want.
By God, if we chase the Jews from Palestine and the Holy Temple, and they don't surrender to Islam, even if they go to the end of the world, we shall chase them and kill them. And then we will call all Christians to Islam, because this is the only religion of compassion.
I advise my fighting brothers to continue killing the Jews to the last one.
We do not like life, we divorce the world, and we built our afterlife.
It's conversion or death. Submit or pay jizya as a second-class citizen. Blaspheme and you're done. Imprisoned or killed. That's the ideology, plain as day. And the left has somehow convinced a ton of people that our values can just coexist with that. They can't. It's not even a controversial take. It should be the most basic, obvious thing out there. But I know it's making heads explode for some. The usual comeback. That's just a tiny minority, not all Muslims. It doesn't affect us here. Really? Tell that to the terror attacks we've seen spiking lately. Tell that to the clips we keep seeing, like the ones from Dearborn, Michigan, where crowds are casually chanting "Death to America" on American streets.
And this is why Imam Khomeini, who declared the International Day of Quds, this is why he would say to pour all of your chants and all of your shouts upon the head of America.
Imagine if it was right-wing extremists or some white supremacist group chanting that. It'd be wall-to-wall coverage for weeks, the biggest scandal ever. But because it aligns with anti-Western, America must fall vibes that fit the revolutionary LARP for some on the left, it gets a pass, or even quiet support. It's beyond idiotic. More and more people are waking up to it, though. They're seeing that calling out ideological clashes isn't racism. It's basic self-preservation. If a belief system rejects core Western values like free speech, equality under the law, religious pluralism, yeah, it's fair to say it doesn't belong here. Pretending those tensions don't exist just to feel tolerant doesn't make you enlightened. It makes you a useful idiot. Chickens for KFC. The Overton window is shifting at warp speed. We're done caring about the old rules. We're just calling it like it is. Anyway, that's what I've got for today. Thanks for hanging out. Hit that like if you're with me on this. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay real out there. Peace.